Reece's team is trapped in the Hollow Veil, a living labyrinth designed to break them. They find Trinity, but she's changed, warning him away before being sealed behind an obsidian door. What did the warlocks do to Trinity? Can Reece break through the door? What awaits him if he does? Reece lunged forward, his claws scraping against the obsidian doors as they slammed shut between him and Trinity. The force of the impact sent a tremor through his bones, but he barely noticed. His mate was right there, so close he could hear the breath hitch in her throat, but she was slipping away again. No! His roar shook the walls of the Hollow Veil. He slammed his fists against the barrier, ignoring the searing pain as tendrils of magic lashed at his skin. Trinity! Juniper yanked him back before the dark energy could do more damage. It's a trap, she gasped, breathless. They knew we'd come. They wanted this. Vincent stepped beside them, his gaze fixed on the now sealed entrance. She didn't even fight back, he murmured. Why? Elias, who had remained eerily silent, finally spoke. Because she isn't just their prisoner anymore. His voice was grim, filled with something none of them wanted to name. They've done something to her. Reece's breathing was ragged, his hands trembling with suppressed fury. He refused to believe that. Trinity wasn't gone. She couldn't be. He turned to Elias, his eyes blazing. Then we get her back. Elias hesitated before shaking his head. Not yet. Reece bared his fangs. What the hell do you mean, not yet? If we rush in now, we'll lose her for good, Elias said sharply. They've bound her to something far older than any of us understand. If we're going to break those chains, we need to know what we're up against. Reece clenched his fists. Every instinct screamed at him to charge forward, to tear through the warlocks until there was nothing left standing between him and Trinity. But deep down, he knew Elias was right. If he lost himself to his rage, he'd be playing right into their hands. He turned away from the sealed doorway, his jaw tight. Then we prepare, he growled, because when we go back, we're not leaving without her. The journey back through the Hollow Veil was quieter than before. The land still twisted and shifted around them, but it no longer felt like it was hunting them. It had already gotten what it wanted. Reece walked ahead, his movements stiff, his body tense with frustration. He hated leaving without her. Every part of him rejected it, but as Vincent had said, Trinity hadn't even fought back. Why? They set up camp in a secluded cave, the glow of their fire casting flickering shadows across the stone walls. Nobody spoke at first. The weight of their failure sat heavy in the air. Then Noah broke the silence. What if we can't bring her back? Reece's head snapped up, eyes burning. That's not an option. Noah held his gaze for a long moment before sighing. I'm just saying, what if she doesn't want to come back? She does, Juniper said firmly. She's fighting. I know she is. Vincent exhaled. But what if she isn't? Or worse, what if she doesn't remember who we are? The silence that followed was suffocating. Elias sat at the edge of the fire, watching the flames dance between them. Finally, he spoke. Tell me about her. Reece frowned. What? Elias glanced at him. Trinity, if we're going to get her back, we need to remember who she is, not just to you, but to all of you. Juniper's voice was the first to break the stillness. She's stubborn. Vincent chuckled softly. That's an understatement. She's not just stubborn, Juniper continued. She never gives up on people, even when she should. Her voice wavered slightly, even when they don't deserve it. She saved my life, Noah said, his voice quieter. Twice. He smiled faintly. She yelled at me both times. That sounds like her, Vincent murmured. She has this way of making you feel like you matter, even if you don't believe it yourself. Reece swallowed hard. His voice was rough when he finally spoke. She's my mate. But she's more than that. He met each of their gazes. She's the heart of us. The fire crackled between them, the warmth of their words lingering even as the cold night pressed in. None of them noticed the soft breath of magic that stirred in the wind. Trinity sat in the darkness, her hands bound, her body exhausted. She had stopped fighting days ago, weeks ago. She had lost track of time. The warlocks kept her wrapped in enchantments, feeding off her essence, draining her will. But tonight something changed. A voice, distant yet familiar, whispered through the void. She's the heart of us. Her breath caught. Her fingers twitched against the cold stone floor. The warlock's magic pulsed around her, suffocating, consuming. But for the first time in a long time, Trinity felt something else: hope. Back at the camp, Reece stared into the flames, his mind running through every scenario, every plan, every possible way to get Trinity back. His wolf was restless, pacing beneath his skin, howling for its mate. Elias sat beside him. "She heard you." Reece turned to him sharply. "What?" Elias's expression was unreadable. The warlocks don't just hold people captive. They bind them in ways that make them feel lost, alone. He tilted his head, but something broke through tonight. Reece's heart pounded. "You're sure?" Elias nodded. "The war isn't over, Alpha. It's just beginning." Reece exhaled, standing. "Then we'd better be ready." Trinity was still out there, still fighting, and they were coming for her. Reece vowed to retrieve Trinity, trapped by warlocks in the Hollow Veil. They knew she was changed, bound by dark magic. But hope flickered. She'd heard them. Could they save her? Was she lost forever? And was her hope a trap, luring them to their doom?
Hey, I am Trinity. Want to know what happens next? Then click the link in the description below and download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Chosen by Fate, Rejected by the Alpha.